founded Pasquale's, and then they sold it, and then started Salvadori's.
Oh.
Ooh.
There's some good stuff in here.
The new LL Bean cat. Hey guys, we got to make this quick tonight. I've got the new LL Bean catalog here. It's the.
Don't let him joke with you. We look at it every.
It's the favorite time of the quarter.
Look at this bag. Bam.
Ooh.
I might like that better than the.
Is Matt and Stephanie and Bobby there?
Stephanie's. I see Stephanie. Alexa off.
Bobby's not here.
Bobby was busy running, so hopefully he'll be getting on soon.
Barb's
Matt,
not coming.
I talked to Matt. Matt should be getting on any minute. I literally talked to Matt about 15 minutes ago.
Barry Farmer.
He's a guy that owns a drapery company.
Apparently, that's the shirt you got on.
Apparently.
Got 1 minute.
Well, 1, 2. Well, right now we're at 3. I guess we're forced to wait.
Have to have 4 to make a meeting?
An official meeting to go through the agenda we do. We could certainly have discussions. I literally just talked to Matt. Yeah, Matt. Allie made a good point. Matt might have got his LL Bean catalog too. So.
There he is.
Hey.
So how do I get everybody's picture on here?
There should be a tab when you that'll say like speaker view, or it'll enter full screen.
Look up in the upper right corner. There should be a 3x3 grid of squares. If you click on that, it'll pull up everybody at the same time.
Depends on what you're using. Mine's on the left-hand corner, so
Okay.
I'm on an iPad. I'm on an iPad though. So.
What am I looking for now? Those 3 little dots? More? No.
Yeah.
Got
Is it the
should
virtual
have
back?
9 squares, like 3x3 in a box, and if you click on that, it should say gallery view. If you pull it up, and then that'll pull up everybody's tiles.
I do not have that.
Yeah, it might depend what you're on.
Maybe that's it. Oops, wrong thing. My finger's too fat. I clicked the wrong thing. Yep. That's not it. I keep clicking things and it ain't the right thing. Share content? No. Stop video?
Are you on your iPad, Rose?
Yeah.
Just touch the screen. Is your screen blank or is it?
No, I got you on there. Whoever.
Well, I mean, if you touch your screen, you should have something up towards the top that says leave or zoom or mute or stop video.
I got.
You can screen share, right?
I got mute, stop video,
Well, look
share
to you if you
content.
got. That's all up in the right-hand corner, right?
Yeah.
Okay, touch your screen and look to the left. It'll say switch camera view or it'll say switch to active speaker.
Oh, I see it. It said switch to gallery view. Is that what I want?
Gallery
Kim.
view.
Yep, gallery view, yeah.
Oh, you all are so smart. Wow. That's the difference between being 35 or 45 and 79.
Hey man, I'm 50, so.
Well, I was trying to be nice. I knew you was about Jelly's age.
I think we're all
Graduated together.
adapting. All right. Bobby may join us. So I guess it's a special meeting. We've got a quorum. So I'll call it to order. Forgive me. I'm not going to do an invocation and a pledge. I don't think for a caucus. I don't have a flag directly in my living room, and so we'll just go ahead with roll call.
Carrie,
Here.
Bobby, Rose,
Here.
Stephanie,
Here.
Matt,
Here.
Barb.
Okay. So September 3rd is code enforcement meeting at 6:30 at the Senior Center. September 7th, offices are closed for Labor Day. September 8th. Sharon,
Yes.
I know it says Zoom planned meeting canceled.
Mhm.
Do we possibly need to do that with second readings on some of these?
Well, we're still going to have the council meeting starting at 7, just not the planning at 6:15.
Okay. All right. I didn't read ahead there. Okay. All right.
But
Never mind.
the girls did say we may need to have that planning. They needed to talk about some things for Christmas on Maine.
Okay. We can relay that.
And there is no code enforcement. It was canceled yesterday.
Okay.
Who was that for, Sharon?
Nobody. I just hadn't canceled it yet.
Okay.
Oh, so nobody appealed to call the meeting?
For what? The code enforcement?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we didn't. Hasn't been an agenda.
All right. Well, September 12th, there'll be fireworks at Town Center. We moved that back to start at like 9 or 9:30. Sharon, is it correct?
Yes, 9. He said between 9 and like 9:30. I still left the flyer to say at dusk.
So basically when it gets dark.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll go through a few here items for possible discussions. Code enforcement update. We're still waiting off of the demolition order for the house on North Main. We're waiting for any possible rebuttals. If there is not a rebuttal or anybody challenging anything by September 9th, we have a demolition crew standing by and waiting. So plan is to take that house down on September 9th. It's been a long time coming. I know it's been some tedious work on that. So it's one good thing. Brent's got a few other things he's working on. No updates on the Shouse property. It's still with the COVID situation in the courts, I think is holding that up still. Since Brent's not on here, I'll have Brent send you all a list and an update if he hasn't already done so.
I think I put one in the packets that I had wrote on with the latest updates on it.
Okay. Okay, great. Sewer updates. I guess sewer updates, wastewater updates, and Brickman lift station updates. We could probably all
Combined.
combine into one here. We have Roger, you want to take that over? I know they're moving right along.
Yeah, right now on the, taking out the treatment plant down on Jones Road right now. We're waiting on the bore pit to get done at the underneath Rico. That's going to take probably another week and a half. Once they get that done, then they'll finish up the force main. Then they'll move into the pump station. So we're probably looking at a couple more months. That's probably going to be done. But they figure it's probably at least going to take a week and a half or so or more to get through the railroad, underneath the railroad. So it's all going well though, ahead of schedule actually. So
Yeah, we were anticipating 6 months, so looks
yeah, I don't.
everything I've seen, they're moving pretty well.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take that long at all.
Excuse me a second.
And once they get that project done, I mean, it's got to sit for 30 days before we can do any testing. So Matt will do all of the air and mandrel and everything. If Matt can hear me and chime in.
Yeah, I'll have them let me know when it's been enough time, and I'll go out and take care of it. It's usually pretty quick.
All right. Council, any comments, questions on any of that?
I'm trying to find the code enforcement update. Is that on Dropbox?
Yes.
I like how you put the citations for the parking on there.
I got that.
And now if we can just get citations issued. So splash pad update, we'll move on to that. Oh, wait, sorry, street and sidewalk updates and reports. Matt, Roger.
Yeah, I talked to Pete Michaels this afternoon. They will be tearing out the concrete panels for replacement this week, Thursday or Friday. They'll send out notices to the residents in Coffin Run that might have their driveway access interrupted, and then following up with milling on the asphalt streets next week.
I do have something on street and sidewalks. Well, and of course, everybody's probably seen that Public Works Garage finally got paved and everything. Rose, I'm sure you've seen that.
It looks nice.
Turned out really good. We did have a work order with some concerns on parking from Main Street or Dixie Highway to Belfry and Wildcat Run. Right now, you can park there from, of course, we can put a sign up, no parking from here to corner, 25 feet for our ordinance, but I don't know if you guys want to look at doing something like you did on Haley Lane, which actually we're having a problem there right now, which the mayor is well aware of. And we put signs up, no parking either side. We might need to do the same thing from there once school starts back up. We've had multiple complaints throughout the years, and this year we're still complaining about it. No parking either side, from at least from here to Belfry, which would hopefully stop people. People are having problems turning, or when you come to the intersection, being able to get to Main Street or turn off at Belfry, but that's up to you guys. So that was a complaint that came in last week, just so you guys know.
Say we get Duncan to write something up, Gabe, and get that on the agenda for either next week or next month.
Should be a hard deal. Say Sharon could probably write the initial title of that. Shouldn't be an issue at all. All right, splash pad update. Matt Bogan.
It's out to bid right now. Bid opening is on Thursday at 3 o'clock. We've gotten responses from Bluegrass Recreation and DWA, whatever their name is. They're a competing splash pad vendor, and they sent over a mock-up of similar layout based on the water play features that we had sent previously. So they're they're interested in the project. They typically don't do all of the other site improvements, the grading and the control building and all that, but they're working on finding some subcontractors to handle that for them. So I think we should be getting a couple bids back on it. And as soon as I get the results, I'll put together a bid tab and send it to council for their review.
Okay. Parks discussion. A discussion on parks. Terry, Matt, Stephanie, Rose? All
I
right.
did talk to some boys up at Kroger's, and they said they really like the basketball court up here at Walton. And sometimes they go to Williamstown, and they said ours is a lot nicer than what they have at Williamstown. And I told them if they had any questions or any ideas of any other improvements we could make up at parks to let us know.
Good.
Beautiful court.
That's what they're saying. I haven't been up there, but that's what these boys were talking about.
Me and Gabe was just talking about getting it named, getting that on the court for Joe White when he did his proclamation and that sort of deal. Get that name before too long.
Yeah.
And then we also, the tennis court, we need to figure out if we're going to do the fitness center there or what we're going to do. It's pretty rough up there.
No, well, the tennis court, as far as that goes, we need to repave the tennis court. And I think we've got, as far as a fitness, and doing any kind of a fitness deal is going to probably be best utilized on the blacktop surface where the volleyball court is. I mean, I don't know anybody that plays volleyball on a blacktop surface, so I've never fully understood that to begin with. But the tennis court we had earmarked to possibly do for next year. It needs to be done, but we had put money in last year's budget to do the tennis court, but as it would turn out, nobody knew how much a tennis court actually cost. So we're looking at, probably $100,000 to redo the tennis court. And I've stopped up there a few times, and I've talked to some people playing tennis. I actually talked to two gentlemen that both played Division I tennis in college, and my understanding is you can half-ass fix a tennis court, and with the resurfacing, it's going to be cracked in 6 months to a year. So it's pretty much almost a total redo. So it is going to cost some money. And that's something that, is something I'd had planned to put in next year's budget. I just didn't see, if we were talking about, and that was going to be the thing, if we weren't going forward with the splash pad, or we couldn't come up to some kind of deal on the splash pad for this year, then, I was going to suggest that money go towards the tennis court for this year. I believe both are needed. But, with the amount of work, and I can't recall that tennis court has had any work done to it, to my knowledge, since it's been put in. So it's definitely needed. And there is, trust me, I hear about it. There are people that play, so it is utilized. But it's, it needs to be looked at. But, as of right now, that's something I plan on for next year's deal, assuming we go forward with the splash pad, which it's out the bid. So I would hope we would go forward with that. No other questions. I'll move on. Expense reports. Do we have any questions on expense reports?
I do not.
What else? Event planning. As of right now, I don't know what it's going to look like for Veterans Day. So I'm going to continue to plan for Veterans Day, but that's fast approaching, and we'll have to see, depending on what Governor Bashir's thinking at the time and where things are. But I'm still trying to line up, something for that. But I've done it for almost 8 years now, so I've gotten to where I'm pretty quick with putting it together. So if need be, it might not be an all-star lineup this year, but it'll be done if we're able to do it and do it safely, I guess. As far as Christmas on Main goes, I take it from what Sharon said earlier that there's some questions about that, so we'll be forwarding around emails and discussions once we find out a little more of what the concerns are and where to go. We have a discussion to set the tax rate. Sharon, you got any comments on this?
No, I attached a paper showing if we raised it to the comp plus 4, how much it would change it. But like usual, I always put that in there, and no one really wants to change it. But it wouldn't make much difference, and the revenue for us would make a great deal.
Well, as always, that's a discussion for council and a council decision. I would maybe, when does that have to be done by, Sharon?
Well, in order to be able to get the discount rate, so people have time to pay it, and us to get our bills and stuff out, we really need to get the first reading and second reading sometime this month, preferably sooner the better.
Well,
I was hoping to have a first tonight and a second next week.
Well, I can understand that, but our problem is we're missing 2 council members. So I don't feel that we've got, there is a possibility that we're going to have a special Zoom call meeting anyway when the bids come back. So there's a possibility we could maybe discuss it at council meeting. I honestly don't know what to do with that. If anybody on council has got some questions or ideas of how they'd like to move forward with the tax rate, speak now.
I know I'm not on council, but I know I would like to say something about not a tax break, but back on the water and sewer if I can. We can't keep passing this along. We gotta get back to, nobody wants to raise the rates, but I know it got voted down last time, but it's gotta be done. We're gonna be losing revenue.
Well, the water rates, I absolutely agree with. I believe that's been a topic of discussion. I know Bobby was planning on putting that back on the agenda for discussion, but Councilman McDonald's not on this call. But I know that, yes, I agree that does need to be done. It was
Previous administrations kept passing it down the board, passing it down the road.
Well, and we did adjust it the last time. We adjusted it at half of what we were what was suggested to us with the intention of adjusting the other half the following year, and that never happened. So now here we are another year later, looking at the same situation.
Yeah, I just wanted to put the bug in everybody's ear. Something's got to be done soon, but
And I believe everybody, when we went through budget discussion, we were talking with David Baker. We had promised to do that in this budget year. So that is something to be thinking of, certainly. Sharon,
Let me just say, going back to the taxes, if we raised it to the maximum allowed, which is just 3 cents more on a house valued at 70,000, it's just 18 cents a month that it's going to affect the taxpayer. If we, on a house valued at 150,000, it's 38 cents more a month that it would affect the homeowner. So we're not talking about a great deal by raising that, but the revenue for us is quite a bit more if we raise it to that 3 cents more.
Probably the value of homes in Walton's gone up to about 200 or more.
Well, a $200,000 home, it's $6 a year that it would raise it. I didn't do the breakdown of how many cents that is. So what, 50 cents more a month is all it's going to cost on their home.
I guess my only question would be, what's the need? Is it because, I mean, I understand what you're saying. And we heard this with, which I know is not associated with the city, but with the school tax increase, pennies on the dollar, pennies on the dollar. But it trickles down as it becomes your property. So home, I guess it would impact car, boat, all of that as well too, correct?
No, this is just on property. We don't, that's not counting the boats and the cars or the county or anything like that. This is the tangible property, and then there's the real property.
So
Terry,
what?
Terry, real quick, I see where you're going with this.
I just don't understand the need. I don't understand the need. And if you could explain that to me, that'd be great.
So here's where we are with that is we have essentially even doing that. And I'm not saying I'm for or against it. What we did for 2 straight terms while I was on council was lower the tax rate. So even at increasing it, now we would still be lower than we were 6 years ago. Now, and David Baker's not on this call, obviously, but maybe he should be. You know, the accountant has been
On a council meeting.
asking for us to do this for a few years now, and council has chosen to lower the tax rate. Terry, there's all kinds of reasons for different things that we could raise it for. Like I said, I'm not necessarily for or against it. It is what it is, but you know, we don't need to be losing revenue just to say, you know, well, we're lowering rates. We've already lowered rates for 6 years now, and you know, might be something to consider.
I appreciate your take. It's just that if there was, I mean, and I hear you, your general response, and sure, you have more money, you do more things, but, and I understand Sharon's point that it's pennies on the dollar over the year. I would just like to understand the need.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't see a need to raise it either. Obviously, you probably knew where I was on that. We're doing pretty well financially, and we can pay for the projects we need to do now. So I say we just set the rate at the current rate and get that first reading done tonight. But that's just my opinion on that. On the water, I think we should do that and make it effective in January, because we can't just keep, like Roger said, pushing and pushing it. We need to act on that soon. So.
Okay. And as far as a need for it goes, Terry, every year we have to sit back. A lot of this goes to general fund and road funds. We do get a lot of municipal aid. We use most of that for road and street repairs, or all of that for road and street repairs, but we also use some of our own. So every year when we go through, we do have to pick and choose what street, what sidewalk. Basically what I'm saying is we have to prioritize, well, this one can wait till next year. So maybe on occasion there's one or two that probably could be done this year, but we need to wait another year because it's not fiscally responsible, if you get what I'm talking about. So that's my only point with that. Other than that, I don't really, like Matt said, we're in good financial shape. But that is a process of selection. All right.
Call it to order or for a special meeting?
We've already called it to order. We've got a quorum. So we would have, if we're through discussion items, we would be on the first reading of ordinance 2020-10, adopting the Boone and Kenton County assessments for all real and personal property within the taxing jurisdiction of the city of Walton and providing for payment of ad valorem taxes of the city. Sharon, you
That
haven't.
one's just to approve the tax rolls as submitted by Kenton County and Boone County.
And I would need a motion and a second on that.
Motion.
This one isn't changing any type of money or anything like that. This is just accepting the rates. Accepting the tax assessed values. That's all it is.
Do we
Terry?
have a second?
Yeah, Terry seconded, Matt first.
Oh, sorry.
Terry?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Okay, next item would be the same of ordinance 2020-11, fixing the tax levies of the city of Walton upon real property and tangible personal property subject to ad valorem taxation by the city for the year 2020 upon motor vehicles and watercraft subject to ad valorem taxation by the city for the year 2021.
This one would actually set the rates.
Okay. And is this one?
So we need to make a motion to keep the rates the same, or?
Just tell me how much, yeah.
Okay.
$1.01 and $2.13.
I make a motion, we keep them the same.
I second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second.
Terry?
Yeah.
Rose?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
Okay. None. First reading of ordinance number 2020-06 of the city of Walton, Kentucky, amending section 50.50, the city of Walton Code of Ordinances in order to revise the rates charged to customers for water services purchased by the city to help offset increased costs by the city's suppliers. Council, we've talked about this earlier. I don't know if this is one Matt, you said you wanted to put this off or discuss it further. So I don't know if you all want to vote on this or if you want to table it for further discussion.
And you said you're having a Zoom special meeting on Thursday?
Yes, we will have a Zoom special meeting on Thursday. Might give you all some time to review and discuss. But we will, we will have a Zoom meeting for the second reading of 2 of these. And then Matt Bogan, did you say the bid for the splash park will be in by then?
Yeah, 3 o'clock Thursday.
Okay, so that will also be on there for discussion.
What time is that meeting?
Will be 7 o'clock.
Okay. I'll need a little bit of time to go through the bids and make sure the numbers are, that everything checks out. But
Sure.
yeah.
I apologize. I'm confused. So that if we're having a meeting next Tuesday, we're still going to call a special meeting on Thursday? I'm sorry. I may have missed something. I apologize.
This Thursday is when the bids will come in. So it will be next Tuesday, but it's a special meeting because it's on Zoom.
So I'm confused now. So are we having a special one this coming Thursday?
Or what?
No, next Tuesday.
Sorry.
Our
I thought he said
our normal meeting
Okay.
will be next Tuesday. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I was lost.
So there's no Thursday meeting, right?
No Thursday meeting. Good God.
Okay. Thank
Good
goodness.
God, no.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay,
Everything's on Tuesday
everything's on Tuesday.
at 7 o'clock.
So
7 o'clock.
if we raise the water rates, say, and when would that take effect?
It would take effect
For
immediately
October, I would say, right?
if you deemed it that way. Or you could, if you wanted it to go by January 1, you could word it that way.
Yeah, I think that's something we need to do, and putting it off 2 months, 3 months. I don't think it's going to hurt too much, but it's something we need to get going now. Is everybody good with having an effective January and passing it now and doing the second reading on Tuesday?
I would need a motion for that, Matt. I mean,
I make a motion to correct our water rates or raise our water rates effective January 1, 2020.
So that would need, and you're motioning for an amendment to raise the water rates. The amended line would be effective January 1 of 2021.
Yes.
So that would be Councilman Brown's motion. I would need a second to proceed.
Can I ask about the need? I appreciate you guys. But the reason I ask is I got to go visit Sharon today because I couldn't get my iPad moving, and she just magically touched it. And we were talking about tonight's meeting, and she shared with me, which perhaps is common knowledge, $1 million in the water fund. And I hear Roger say, and I've heard you guys speak before about this, just being profitable. But here's my question as a concerned citizen. If there's this surplus of money, which is obviously the people's money. Why are we increasing? Because we're not profitable enough?
No, Terry, that's not it at all. The goal is actually not to be, you know, you don't, we're technically, we're not supposed to profit. We are not a business. We are an entity, but we are offsetting cost. We are getting increased year over year by the Northern Kentucky Water District. And we're in a 30-year contract. So we are not, while we do have money in our accounts, we are spending that on infrastructure projects. We've got over $1.5 million. I mean, this project we're working on right now is $700,000. The Southern Waterline connections estimated at roughly $300,000. So there's $1 million, assuming we get all. And then there's the project to go through the Owens property with that one, which was initially proposed at around $650,000-$700,000. Is probably another $450,000 if we take it the alternate route. So I mean, you're talking putting out damn near $1.5 million right there. So no, the idea is not to raise rates. The idea is to not lose money. We still have infrastructure projects and things that we need to pay for.
A lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Roger and I and Tim and Ryan talk about sewer projects in all the time. They don't stop. You know, so it's not something well, we're just increasing this to increase it. We're getting taxed. So put it this way, Terry, if you were a store owner and Coca-Cola would all of a sudden raised the price of a 6-pack of Coke for you to sell 20 cents for you to be the vendor, would you throw that cost on a little bit further down the road? So really it's more of a economics thing than it is anything. There is a need for it. Our accountant has asked us to do that as well for at least, I don't know, the better part of 4 years or more. And, you know, we raised it 0.5% at one point, and we're supposed to raise it another 0.5% and never did. So, you know, previous councils, for whatever reason, it slipped by the wayside, but it's time. We're going to get another increase next year. So, I mean, if you want, you need a further in-depth explanation, you know, we could pass you along to David Baker, and maybe he could explain it to you a little better than I can. I'm not an accountant. I don't do it for a living. But for my explanation, how it was explained to me, that's exactly why. And I also know how much we spend a year doing projects, even if it's a water main break. We've had several of those. They get quite pricey.
And Terry, I think with me, we should be able to get rid of that surcharge, the $10 surcharge in the future. And with raising the water rates, it's not really going to cost us, the citizens that much more money, but like businesses that use more water, it'll make up for that. And the citizens will be able to see the savings of the $10 come off the water bill eventually.
And I appreciate both of you guys just talking me through it. I guess, honestly, again, as a citizen, I'm just really confused about where we're going wrong, because when Ellesmere's 3-month rate is the same as my 1-month rate, then I'm curious, what can we do to fix that? And I'm green to it. I mean, talk to me like I'm elementary. I'm fine with that. I just want to understand.
their 1 month rate is the same with water and sewer or just water? Just curious.
Well, and Roger, the only reason I even
I haven't
have
seen
any,
it. That's why I'm asking. I don't know what Ellesmere's rate is. So.
that's a great question. I don't know how sewer's built exactly, but I know and the only reason I mentioned Ellesmere is because Cameron's dad lives in Ellesmere. And I know his
Right.
3 month charge is my 1 month charge. So that's, and you know, I mean, we've lived here our whole lives. People routinely talk about how expensive water and sewage is in Walton. So, I think they're valid questions, just like, where can we improve on that? And yes, I'm new to this and would want to learn, but what are we doing wrong?
Well, I live in Independence now, and I can tell you I pay more here for water and sewer than I did at the city of Walton when I lived there for a long, long time until last year. So I can tell you I pay 3 months water here. Same thing on the sewer, monthly on the sewer. I pay more here than I do at the city of Walton, or I did at the city of Walton. So.
Yeah, I can't speak for Ellesmere. Ellesmere also doesn't run their own water and sewer. They contract out through SD1 and they contract out through Northern Kentucky Water District. They don't operate anything.
Who's our user, Sharon? Do you know?
Who's our
Sorry, I
what?
didn't, what?
Highest user on water?
Oh, gosh.
What
I
would
don't
be
know.
the guess of gallons wise? Do you have one, Roger or Sharon?
I don't.
Flying J and Blue Beacon's probably our two highest users.
Yeah, I would
And-
get that.
Bullock Pen, it depends if they're pulling more off of Boone County or us. I mean, last month they was like 2 or 3 million. This month they was 500,000. So it just depends on who they're pulling off of. So, but yeah, Bullock Pen's usually our biggest, but other than that, Flying J and Blue Beacon.
And that's Bullock gets the wholesale rate, right?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's something we need to look at.
Was
Also-
did Bullock have their wholesale rate raised to them this year, July the 1st?
We can't raise rates to them unless we raise it to everybody else.
Exactly.
Is everybody else wholesale?
No, but I don't know how you can justify raising one without the other.
Yeah.
Because we have to, with Bullock Pen, to raise the rates, it's got to be approved through the PSC, so.
Yeah, I don't believe it's legal to raise one's rates wholesale without, Sharon, and it's my fault. I told Sharon I didn't think we needed Mike Duncan tonight, but I don't believe that legally we can raise one person's rates wholesale and not raise somebody else's. I don't think we can do that. I could be wrong, but
Well, Gabe, Boone County Water raised their wholesale rate to Bullock Pen July the 1st.
Had to be approved through the Public Service Commission, I'm sure, though. So,
Our rates was approved at the first of the year, December the 31st.
Well, it sounds like we might need to table this discussion and I guess discuss it at next council meeting on Tuesday. I'd make a motion to table.
I
I'll
second.
second it.
Who seconded? Rose?
Mm-hmm.
Motion to table? Okay. Terry?
Yes.
Rose?
Yes.
Stephanie?
Yes.
Matt?
Yes.
I apologize. So that one went through, I take it. Sorry, my mother pulled up in the driveway and started honking with a delivery of something. Step outside.
More pizza.
It was approved to table, Gabe.
Approve the table. Okay,
Yes.
great. Okay. Sorry, now I've got to slide everything back over again.
Roger, who all do we have on wholesale rate? Just Bullock?
we're only allowed to technically sell the Bullock Pen for wholesale rate per our ordinance.
So if we raise it, it would only affect one entity.
On the wholesale rate,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Moving forward, we have resolution 2020-08 of the city of Walton, Kentucky, authorizing the filing of a coronavirus relief funds, CRF, application for the reimbursement of incurred expenses and CRF funds with the Department for Local Government, DLG, authorizing director the mayor to execute any documents which are deemed necessary by DLG to reimburse the city of Walton, and authorizing the mayor to act as the authorized correspondent for reimbursement. Sharon, would you like to dive into that one?
Yes, I submitted the grant application for the CARES funding, which is getting reimbursed for all of the COVID expenses that we've incurred so far. And we were approved for $12,000, close to $12,000. So this is just starting the paperwork in motion so we can get that money paid to us.
How much was the total of our costs due to the corona?
Well, everything that I submitted, it was almost 12, like 11.9. The only thing that we didn't get approved for, I had put in there where we have been, the US bank fees, we've been paying those for our customers. They wouldn't approve those for us. So we've decided to put them back on, and the customers are going to start paying for those starting September 1st. So everything that we've paid COVID-wise, we've gotten reimbursed for.
And to expand on that, as a city our size, we are eligible for up to $300,000. But we've tried to look at different ways. It's kind of a use it or lose it type deal. I didn't necessarily want to contribute to that because, eventually somebody somewhere is going to have to pay it back. But there was the potential for a lot of cities that are getting it. They're spending it on their police departments or their fire departments. We can't spend it on our fire department. We obviously don't have a police department. So really it just kind of, the remainder will go back into the fund and somebody else will spend the money. But roughly we've got in phase one, we've got $12,000 roughly coming back to us. There is a phase two that could potentially roll out, and we could possibly do something with the utilities program, offering utilities payments to citizens affected by COVID-19, unemployed, etc. That would cover. But the kicker is that would not cover, like we couldn't get reimbursed for, say, if we forgave everybody in Walton's water rates. We wouldn't get, you can't seek the money for your own utility. So it would be people paying citizens, reimbursement for either rent or Duke bills. I don't believe internet applies, but I could be wrong on that, especially with the school deal.
That phase is already out, where we could do grants for our citizens for other utilities. The next one coming up, which is the third one, they're going to do it so we can pay back ourselves.
What does that mean?
It means since you haven't been working and you haven't paid any of your water bills, that I can pay your water bill and pay it back to the city of Walton. I can collect the money on your behalf.
Oh,
Instead of
do that 5 months ago?
Yeah, I know.
Wasn't out yet, Rose. I've asked the same question. As of right now, what's available to us, I didn't realize the second phase had been rolled out, but what's available to us right now, which it would have to be something council would do as far as a grant program, or there'd have to be a grant program set up. I assume you would have to show that one or more people in your household were, unemployed during the time, something along those lines. Then, you get basically money for your bills. It'd be like a reimbursement thing to Duke or something like that.
Correct.
Or Owen Electric.
Mhm.
And then there's also the possibility of doing the same thing, I believe, with small businesses that might be leasing or renting a property or a building that had to close during the quarantine phase. I believe that's also a possibility for reimbursement. Like I said, we are eligible for X amount of dollars, but it wasn't something that, somebody's going to have to pay for it at some damn time. As far as the taxpayers go nationwide, but they are giving out this money.
Well, good work, Sharon, on that.
Agreed. Thank you. And
Dave?
so was the majority of our costs things such as sterilization, cleaning
Sanitizer.
stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, cleaning products. This laptop that I'm on right now to hold these Zoom meetings, that was paid for. I was able to get Roger's iPad paid for. The guys upgraded their cell phones so they can work in the field without having to come in the office. If we go into where we have to close down again, that was paid for. All the Zoom expenses are paid for. A sprayer for Roger's guys to clean the playground equipment.
That's good. Good. Yeah, good job. Thank you.
Well, I make a motion to,
Second.
Okay,
So that was Matt and Terry.
correct.
Terry,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Stephanie,
Yes.
and Matt.
yes.
Okay. Council comments.
I just have one question. It may not be your wheelhouse, but the light on 25 by Chambers, people were complaining about that. Is that the state or something? You can jiggle a chain, because I guess there's been really long delays at that light without it turning.
Yes, every morning I'm been late this week.
Okay. Yeah, I could talk to the state, have them look at it.
Thank you.
That's been something that they said, you do have to get on the state a little bit, but Matt, if you'll take care of that, that's great.
Sure.
It's something that they had pledged to us that they would monitor and adjust. So maybe it just needs to be brought to their attention.
And also make school road lights, since school's not in, maybe shorten the time the light is green on that side, because that is a long light sometimes when nobody's over
Well, I believe school's
Okay.
coming back, is it not?
there.
November.
Is it November
Sometime.
now?
Sometime, buddy.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what they're doing with, in regards to the signal timing, or I mean, even the school flashers are running on the schools that are on state routes, and I imagine they're probably just letting everything run, as it would be normally, instead of going and changing everything for all the schools district wide, and then having schools go back in and going back and turning it back to normal again. But I can ask about that too.
perfect. Okay. Any more comments from council?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion to
Second.
adjourn. All right.
Terry,
Yes.
Rose,
Yes.
Stephanie,
Yes.
Matt.
Yes.
All right. You all have a great evening.
You as well. Thank you.
See you
Thanks,
Tuesday.
everybody.
Bye.
See
Bye,
y'all.
guys.
Not
Take
everybody.
care.